Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hi Venkat. So we completed up to where? We completed up to the general characteristics of gymnosperm. I think that you guys already read about that and you are prepared for the next session, right? So we will do what today? We will just think about all those things and we will continue to the reproduction chapter. Okay. And I believe that the people who are in YouTube and the people who are in Zoom also, like only 68 people. So I don't know like when you guys will join. So you already watched the video I sent in Telegram and WhatsApp both. And if you watch the video, that will be fantabulous because you can understand the things much easily. Okay. So that's the thing. Okay. Yeah, got it. Thank you. Okay, so we will start the class. Before starting the class, we will clear some questions. Okay, the first question came. The question is vascular cryptograms or seedless vascular plants belongs to. They're asking vascular cryptograms or seedless vascular plants belongs to. Option A, Bryophyta. Option B, Pteridophyta. Option C, Thallophyta. Thank you, Tejashree. And option D, Spermatophyta. Okay. One second, guys. One second. Okay. Yes. So we have 4 options. You can check with the answers. I launched the poll in 2 seconds. Yes, I launched the poll. Yeah, easy question, guys. First, think about what is the meaning of vascularity. Okay, then think about the cryptograms. Okay, then think about which do not have the vascularity or it's a cryptogram like that. Okay, so you can think about all those things, or you can think about seedlessness also. Okay, so think about it and choose the answer. Hi, Vandan Kumar. Hi, hello. Yes. So how many answered? We still have how many seconds? We have 22 seconds and only 52% answered. Why, guys? This is one of the easy questions, right? Venkat, you got another one option, H. New option. Good afternoon, Pushpa. Yes, Parvati. Yeah, I'm ending the poll. Only 65. What is happening here? This is one of the easiest question and still you guys are getting confused or you're not answering. I'm not sure about it. Okay. In the rain, it mixed, Venkat. Wow. Yeah, I'm ending the poll now and I'm sharing the results. 12% chosen option A, 59% B, 18% C, and 12% D. Okay. I'm stop sharing it. We will discuss it. Okay, correct. Vascular cryptograms, they are saying, or seedless vascular plants. Okay, cryptograms include which are the types or divisions. If you know, what are the plants belonged in cryptograms? Can you guys name it? Belonged in cryptograms. Thallophyta, or I can simply say algae. Yes. Other than that. Anything else? Yes, correct. Bryophyta and only that much or anything else? Correct, right. Pteridophyta, right. Pteridophyta. So we have this option. Then what you guys have to do? Then you have to think about another word, vascular, right. So they are asking which organism do not have the have the vascularity, right? Vascular cryptogram they are asking. You can remove. You know that algae don't have any xylem phloem. You can remove that one. You also know that even bryophyte don't have any xylem phloem. You can remove that one. So only left thing is pteridophyte. Okay. We will come to here. Okay. So here, how can we answer using this particular word? They are asking about vascular plants. So what are the vascular plants? Pteridophytes. Yes. And gymnosperms and angiosperms, right? Angiosperms, correct. So these are the vascular plants. Then they are asking about seedless vascular plant. You have to remove the things which do not have the seeds, right? Angiosperms have the seeds, remove it. Gymnosperms have the seed, remove it. The only thing left with pteridophyte, the correct answer is pteridophyte. You can directly go for that one, right? So it's one of the easiest answer because it's a seedless vascular plant, or you can say vascular cryptogamic plant, right? So easiest question, you can think about it. So whenever you are covering about this angiosperms, gymnosperms, and pteridophyte, that means vascular plants, be sure or make sure that what they are actually talking about. Okay, they are talking about seed, flower. Okay, mind all those things. You understood, right? If you understood, click on yes, otherwise click on no. So I also get to know that how many of you understood. No, yeah, okay, then we will move on. So unclick it, we can move on to the next page. So here you can see the two cones. You know it's a cone because it's in the shape of the cone, right? You know the cone shape, right? So something like this. You learned all this in your primary class only. uh, yeah, so you know it looks like a cone, correct? So and it belongs to the pteridophyte. We are discussing about it. Can you guys tell me which one is male and which one is female? I will just put the name A and B. Okay, just tell me which one is male and which one is female. Just take a guess. Okay, I don't want the exact answers from you guys. Okay, so you can simply answer. Okay, okay. What makes you guys think I got some option but I didn't. Oh, good afternoon. What is that noob? I'm thinking. Okay, A is smaller. Okay, so that's why it's female or male. Size of the cone, yeah. B is female. Good afternoon. Yeah, B is okay. Venkat, so we can think about all those things. Okay, so we discussed up to this, right? So in YouTube I didn't get any answer, so I'm waiting for your answers also. Okay, so yep, any answers? While we are discussing about the things, I told you guys, right? Wherever we come across with certain kinds of gametes, how we name it depending upon their size. Whenever they are small, we name it as a male, right? Whenever they are large, and we name it as the female. From how we get the habit from the higher animals. If you you can take the example of man or any other organisms, mammals, right? Or the plants, higher plants. Pollen grain is small, sperm is small, right? On the other side, the egg is large, even in the case of plants or in the case of the humans or mammals also, right? From there we get the idea. But remember, guys, whatever talking, it's related to the gametes, not about complete structure. You have to take care about that, right? You can see some things and you can answer, yeah, but the size comparison only happens with the, only happens with the gametes, not with the reproductive structures, right? You can't say something, some reproductive structure is bigger, that's why it's male. You can't say it, right? Huh. So you have to say based on the size of the gametes, you can say, okay, not on the basis of the reproductive system, right? Because female gametophyte retained on this sporophyte, we can see B is female. That's not actually true. Okay, you guys will learn how it will be. Okay, so here you can see first question or a picture. It's comparatively smaller, right? It's comparatively smaller. A bouquet like something is there, but B is actually larger, having lot of arrangement is there, right? Lot of arrangements are there. So we will see which one is there. I'm not telling answer. Okay, I'm coming back here. We see something like pollen in B. Oh my God, you have what I can say, microscopic eyes, Venkat. Okay, you can see pollen grains from here. That's great. Okay, yeah, I will tell you. Next, you only come to know which one is male and which one is female. We will go to the next slide. Okay, so we come to this one. Here you can represent the male and female, how it will be. Okay, so remember, when come to this slide or when come to the pteridophytes, when we come to the heterospory, the one issue is there. What is the particular issue? The issue is male is retained in that particular female or in the plant body or parent plant body only, male have to go up to there for the fertilization, right? So it's exactly like this one. You already played the ring game in the this one, right? In the first or somewhere. So they will keep certain things or some food or something in there, or food or the doll or something. You have to throw the ring, right, for that particular one. If that falls, then that will given to you. Otherwise, your 10 rupees or some rupees will be lost, right? Exactly same kind here. The females are retained there. Remember, females are retained there only, and males go and have to approach that, and it's not an easy task. Okay, it's simply a throwing ring. Exactly same. The pollens are going because we are studying about siphonogamous organisms, especially gymnosperm and angiosperm. But not all the sperms will reach there, or all the pollen grains will reach there, right? So what we have to do? So we have to, what we have to do, you know that, right? What we will get? We will get the three rings. So for at least we will think that one will go and what you can say. So we will get either one doll, right? Simply get a one doll. Same thing. There are like thousands of pollen grains should be produced to fertile numbers of or handful numbers of the egg. Okay. So how it's happening then? So how the structures will be and why it's happening like that, we will see in this one. Okay, here you can see clearly the male cones. What you can so you can see the structure, right? The male cones are arranged in very aggregated manner. Aggregated manner means what? I will write down the words also. Okay, arranged in aggregated manner. Aggregated means a close compact. Okay, aggregated manner, they arranged, congested manner. Okay, this complete structure, I can call it as a male cone, or I can also use the term strobili, if you remember, right? Strobili, we use the term in case of in the last class only, right? Strobili. So can you guys tell me what this strobili contains? What this strobili contains? Yes, correct, right? If you think about the pteridophytes or in the initial days, or what I explained in the last class, this particular strobili, if I take a male strobili or female strobili, and here I'm taking male strobili, it contains the sporophyll. What is the sporophyll then? Okay, you know the what sporophyll means. Each sporophyll, yes, each sporophyll is actually a leaf which contain the spores, right? Which contain the spores. We will keep it like spores only. Then we will come to that. Okay. So yes, what the sporophyll called as in the male system, I can call this as the microsporophyll. Why? The spores are small in size, so these are microspores. The leaf which contain the microspore is the microsporophyll, right? So you can see the structure here. This is actually a one microsporophyll. I will take different color for better, right? So one microsporophyll, second microsporophyll, right? Exactly like this. There are hundreds of microsporophylls are arranged in an aggregated manner. Okay, so we also call sometimes as a cropital manner. Okay, a cropital manner means so arranged. Larger will be in the base, larger one will be in the base, and the smaller one or new one in tip. So we also call this system as the acropital manner. Acropital manner. Okay, you will learn that in morphology. Don't take tension about it. Okay, yeah. So what is the opposite to acropital? It's a basipital. Okay, basipital is completely opposite. Larger will be in the top and smaller one will be in the bottom. Okay, we will study in the morphology. No issue. Here, just remember. So these sporophylls are arranged in an acropital manner. That means larger will be in the base and smaller one will be in the top. It gives it a distinctive shape, or you can say a cone shape, right? It gives a cone shape. Succession goes on the upper side, correct, Aniruddha? Right? It will give some this kind of the shape it will give, right? So what this microsporophyll contains then? This microsporophyll contain a sporangia. What is the meaning of sporangia? Sporangia is a spore containing structure, right? Venkat, right? So here, which spore it contain then? It contain the microspore. Okay. So I can call it as the Microsporangia, right? I can call it as a Microsporangia because we know that it is a sporangia and this sporangia contain microspores. So we can call it as the Microsporangia. Here I will just make it in a blue color. This particular structure is the Microsporangia, blue color shade, right? So you can see here, right? Microsporangia. Sporangia means what? I am repeating again. Sporangia means a sac-like structure which contain the spores. Okay, a sac which contain the spores. Okay, you can think about your bag, right? Your bag contain the notes, exactly same kind. Here one sac will be there, contain the spores. Okay, what is this Microsporangia contains then? This Microsporangia contains spores. Yes, exactly, Kirtana. Yes, it contains the spores. Which spores then? These are actually smaller in size, so I can call it as the microspores, right? I can call it as the microspores. So, or you can call it as the male spores. But remember, here we gave a special term to this, right? A special term to this. Ha, Venkat. So what is that special term for the siphonogamous? We give the term pollen grain. Okay, we give the term pollen grain. Okay, pollen grain. Okay, so both are the same names. So no issue. Don't think confuse. I'm writing it or also here. Okay, so I'm coming back once again. The strobili, or you can call it as cone also. This particular cone is contained of aggregation of the sporophylls or microsporophyll. Each sporophyll contain a sac-like structure which contain the spores. That's what we call it as the this one, Microsporangia. That particular sac-like structure again contain the spores or microspores. So these are the actual reproductive structures. For them, we also call them as the pollen grain. Okay, pollen grain. Grain means a powder-like substance. I'm not sure where that particular pollen word came from. Okay, pollen. I have to think where that word actually came from. Okay, so grain means probably you guys everyone know about it. Grain means what? Powder-like substance, right? Pollen word probably came from some what you can say, a flower or something. I'm not sure about it. I will check once. Okay, it's a Latin words, right? So did you understand about the male system, how it's aggregated or how it formed a male cone, guys? Whatever, did you understood? Click on yes or no. Okay, someone click on no. Just make sure this for this only, right? So this is very important because they regularly asked in the manner how it's arranged. Okay, sometimes they will give select the correct sequence of the events. Okay, sorry, sequence of arrangement. Strobili, sporophyll, sporangia, spores, or ulta also. Spores, sporangia, sporophyll, and strobili. Okay, so that's it. Easy. So acropital, Soumya. Pollen in hibiscus flower. Yeah, pollen is normally used. I don't know from where that word came from. Pollen word. Okay, etymology. So if you don't know a meaning of any word, use this one, guys. Type that word in Google and use the term etymology. Okay. If someone saw the spell bee competition or tried for spell bee competition, you guys probably know this. Okay, etymology gives the origin of that particular name. Okay, origin of that particular name. So you will come to know that how that word particularly came from. Okay, from where it's originated. All those things. That's really important, and it makes you remember the things more easily. And who want to go for medical, that's really important. Okay, to remember the different pathological conditions or the diseases. Ha, Pushpa, right? So once you know about this male system, reading other systems are very easy. Okay, very easy. Okay, the structures will be different only. Okay, I want to go. You go, Venkat. No issue. Okay. Ha, in Latin, pollen means fine powder. Thanks, Cicely. Thanks, Cicely. Okay. So Cicely informed, right? Pollen means fine powder. So that actually clarifies that, right? Yes. The pollens will be in a powder-like manner only. So they gave the name pollen. Yes. Ha, thank you, Kirtana also. Okay. So we clarified that also. I will write somewhere here. So pollen word came from, or pollen means fine powder. So according to Latin. Okay, not so important for your this one, but for the interestings. Okay, yeah. So we will come back to the female. Female is actually a little bit different. Okay, the structures will be a little bit different. Yes, in hibiscus yellow part, you will attach to your fingers, right? That one is called as pollen. Yeah, pollen probably most people saw. Everybody saw that, right? So here what happens? These microsporophylls, instead of arranging from the base, the lower microsporophylls only, what you can say, contain this sporangia. Others will be like finger-like projections. They will make simple finger-like projections. Okay, so this complete structure, I can call it as the female. One second. Yep. This complete structure, I can call it as the female cone. Then all the structures are finger-like structures. I can call it as the megasporophyll. Okay, I can call it as the megasporophyll. Remember, guys, why we are calling it as megasporophyll, even though these things do not contain the sporangia, right? We will get the doubt, right? Okay, here we call it as the microsporophyll because it contains the sporangia, but here it do not contain any sporangia. Why we have to call it then, right? Alina, you have any doubt? If you have the doubt, please put that in the chat box. Okay, so we can solve that. Okay, so what happened in the evolution or in the starting phase? All these megasporophylls are functional. Okay, all these megasporophylls are functional. And what is the importance of that? All these megasporophyll had this sporangia. Okay, had this sporangia. But what happened in the evolution? You know that. So think about the human only. Okay, think about the human only. Okay. One female is actually pregnant and she is having a single child in her belly. Okay, and while compared to the other woman, she is also pregnant, but a rare condition, she have the 6 children in her belly. Okay, so what's the problem happen with the second woman? What is the problem? Can anybody answer? So first woman having a single child and the second woman having the 6 children in her belly. So what's the difference will happen? Anybody? Yes, about the nourishment. Correct. No, it won't die, Chirant. It won't die. Apart from dying, okay, lack of nutrition. Yes, they will not get a proper nutrition, and when they born, the weight will be very, very less, right? Exactly same condition. Okay, wherever Manvita, I will come back to that after the story. Okay, so wherever you think that there is like a lot of cells are there, then what happens? Nutrition will be reduced, so they can't grow big. Okay, so same thing happened in here. Males are producing lakhs of pollen grains, but all of them are small. But females have to produce a larger egg, larger particular ovule structure. But the issue is, if it produces larger quantity also, the size of the ovules will be reduced, then the nutrition will be reduced, then none of them get the proper nutrition, then none of them have the, all of them have the lesser chance of survival. So what they did, instead of producing lot of ovules, they only produced a few ovules, but the sporophylls remained intact. Okay, why it happened like that, we don't know. Okay, we don't know why it happened like that, because evolution is and mutations are completely unpredictable manner. Okay, so whichever favorable will survive, wherever the mutation happens, it's not favorable, that organism will die. Okay, correct. So same thing happened. Those sporophylls remained here, but the actual or lesser number of ovules or remain to the lower portion of the that particular cone and well exposed to here. Okay, and well exposed to the here. Okay, so there are few will say there are some other consequences or use for also this megasporophyll, this catching of the pollen grains. Okay, so remember here actually pollination happens through the air. We call it as anemophily. Okay, anemophily, or the pollination happens through air. That means the pollen grains will travel in the air and those will be attached to that particular ovule, will germinate and produce, not germinate, So they will produce that pollen tube and fertilization will happen. So some people will say that this Megasporophyll also help in the stopping those pollen grains present in that particular air. Okay, so those are the two actual significance, if you can say. Okay, so here I can see, so in this particular ovule, how it's arranged then, so you can think about this one. So these form a bundle like or a complete cup like structures, or you can say a cup like structures. There is one hollow space is here that's called as the micropyle. Okay, or micropyle or micropylar end. Okay, all those things. This will just tell how the developmental process happened. Okay, which one is the tip? Okay, which one is the tip? Yes, correct, right. So in this one, it contains the what structure? It contains the complete structure. That means, one second, again, it contains the Archegonia. Okay, remember, this is the third plant division. So we are studying which contain the Archegonia. Which is the first to? Which is the first to contain the Archegonia structure? Can anybody answer? Yes. You can use the same. Correct, right? Bryophyte and pteridophyte. Remember the structure of Archegonia. We know the structure of Archegonia. Archegonia structures will be something like this. Here will be egg, and here will be neck cells, and all those things will be there. And these things only. No, Manvita. Males do not contain antheridia. Males contain pollen grains. I will clarify that here only. Okay, antheridia is present in only bryophyte and pteridophytes. Okay, antheridia, male systems. Okay, but Archegonia present in bryophyte, pteridophyte, and gymnosperms only, not in angiosperms. Okay, when you come to the angiosperms, you will have completely different system. Pistil, okay, pistil and carpel, all these different systems will come. Those Archegonia starts with the bryophyte and ends with the gymnosperm. Remember, this is very, very important. Okay, there are like several times they ask question based on Archegonia only. Okay, structure of Archegonia or all those things. Okay, this particular Archegonia contains the egg. Okay, this particular structure contains the egg. And so how it will be then? So we will write those things down. Strobili is there. How can I call this? I can call this as the Megastrobili because it's comparatively larger when compared to the ovule. Okay, when compared to sperm and ovule is larger, so we call it as the Megastrobili. I remember we never called this based on that particular size of the cone, because in most of the gymnosperms, the male cones will be larger than the female cones. Okay, we are not considering the size of the cone. We are only considering the size of the particular spore. Okay, here the spore or ovule is larger. We call it as Megastrobili, which contains that particular Megastrobili contains. Yeah, it's not writing again. Yes, this particular structure contains the Megasporophyll or Sporophyll, which contain the that particular female structures. This Megasporophyll contain Megasparangia. Okay, this Megasparangia contains megaspores. Then what is the difference between the Megasparangia and Microsporangia? So you can simply ask and you can answer in there only. Microsporangia contains hundreds of spores, hundreds of microspores. Okay, but Megasporangia do not contain hundreds of spores. It only contain a one megaspore. Okay, so Megasporangia is ovule. You can consider like that. Okay, Megasporangia is the ovule. And what is the structure? Complete structure is the Megasporophyll. Then what is megaspore? Megaspore, which is present inside to that, or archegonial cells. Okay, inside to that. So don't think that Megasporangia contains hundreds of spores. It's not like that. It only contains one or two megaspores. Okay, so that also depends. So what about, yes, Amanvita. So what is microsporocyte and megasporocyte? Can anybody answer? Meaning of microsporophyte and megasporophyte? Yes. Can anybody answer? Structures contain male spores. No. Any more answers? Microsporophyte from YouTube also. Okay, I'm not getting any answers from the YouTube. I'm just wanted to know. Yes. Diploid multicellular stage. Plants having microspores are microsporocytes. You can say like that. The microsporocyte only. Sorry, did I mention microsporophyte? Okay, sorry. Okay, not microsporophyte, microsporocyte. Okay, site, CYTE, and I will write down. That will be a better thing. 1 second, guys. Wherever microsporocyte, and you can also take an example of megasporocyte. Microsporocyte and megasporocyte. It's just first I didn't understood, then I understood. Okay, I mispronounced it. Okay, so divide the words, guys. I told you, right? You have to divide the words and you have to tell the answers, right? So how can you divide it? You know that micro and you know that spores. Okay, yes, so those are spore is there, and those spores are microspores. That means smaller. So spores. What is the meaning of site? Can anybody answer? What's the meaning of site or cytology? Right? Yes, correct. Right. Cell. That means the cell here. Don't think that microspores and microsporocyte are same. Okay, the microsporocyte which gave the microspores. Okay, the megasporocytes or megaspore cells give the megaspores. Okay, so these are, you can call it as the like a mother cells. Okay, microspore mother cell, megaspore mother cell, we will say, right? So like that. So yes, microsporocytes means the cells which gave the I will write down, guys. No issue in confusion. Ananya. Yes, do you have any questions? Cell undergoes meiosis to produce the pollen. You can say like that. Correct, Manvita. So I am writing it here. Okay, microsporocyte, and another one is thing. Why I am writing it? You probably forgot. Megasporocyte. Yes. Bhumika. Not multicellular. Okay, so what is microsporocyte? So cells which undergo I will do that. Undergo meiosis and produce microspores. Okay, so here is the same thing. Diploid cells. Once again, which undergo meiosis and produce megaspores. I'm just not writing it once again. Yes, Jayant, both are same only. Okay, correct. So this is also diploid and this is also diploid. Okay, so microsporocytes are the cells which undergo meiosis process and produce the what we can say microspores, and megasporophytes are also diploid cells which undergo the meiotic process or meiosis process and produce the megaspores. Okay, and microspores and pollen grains both are same. So we will glance it one more time. We'll glance it, right? So there are like two types of cones. One is a male cone and another one is the female cone. And this male cones, how it acts? This male cone, we call it as the male strobili or male cone, and this contains aggregation of the kind of the leaf-like structures. That's what we call it as the microsporophyll. And this microspore or each microsporophyll contains the pack-like or sac-like structure contain microspore, and we call it as the Microsporangia. And this microspores will be arranged in a cropital manner. That means larger will be in the base and smaller one will be in the tip. Okay. This Microsporangia contain a small structures or small spores. That's what we call it as the microspores, or we can also call it as the pollen grain. So yes, so this much related to the male. Can they be called spore mother cells, sir? Yes, Manvita, we can use that term also. No issue. Okay. So what's the difference between Archegonia and Megasporangia? Okay, so remember, Archegonia is a sac-like structure which contains a neck. Okay, with the neck and the sac, that's what we call it as the Archegonia. Okay, Megasporangia means where actually megaspores are present. Okay, the site or the area where actually megaspores are present. Okay, so Megasporangia is a larger structure compared to the Archegonia. And in spores of pteridophytes and gymnosperms are differ in properties. Yes, Jayant, they are differ. So does fusion takes place between pollen grain? No, we are not went to there, Manvita. Wait. Okay, we will go to that in the next steps. We will just talking about the morphology and the characters. Okay, we will discuss that. Don't think that this is the final one. Okay, so there are a lot of slides are there, so because it's important. This female cone, or we can call it a female strobili, this is a little bit different in structure to the male one, because this will be long and contain finger-like structures in the top. That's what we call it as Megasporophyll. And in the base, it will contain a large egg-like structures. That's what we call it as ovules. Okay. So in that particular one, so we can find, we call it as Megasporangia. Okay, that's a complete structure. It contains the Archegonia. Okay, so Archegonia means what? So Archegonia means the structure which contains that particular egg in the gymnosperm. Okay, and this particular contains the egg. Or you can call it as the female gamete. Okay, female gamete, you can call it as. So yes, so we will go to the next slide. One second. Yes, so here actually they given one more time. I didn't saw. Okay, so that's what happens when I'm not prepared this slide. So sorry. Okay, so here you can see in detail once again. So I'm just glancing it here. It's better if I glance here only. Right, you can see the male types of male gametes in different kinds of the cycas plants. All these are example of the cycas on cycas only. Okay, Hapavan, you can say it like that. Yes, correct. Okay, so we mentioned that, right? So no, Jayant. Who told you pollen grains are this one gametes? Pollen grains are not gametes, bro. Like wait, that's what I'm mentioning. Okay, so don't think that all the pollen grains are gametes. We mentioned it as microspore, right? Microspore. That means it's not this one. Gamete will be different. We'll come to that. Okay, wait for that. Don't think that pollen grain and the this one ovule will fuse. Don't ever think like that. Okay, pollen grains are haploid. Yes, obviously it should be haploid because it's a spore, right? Spores are always haploid, right? Yes, sir. It's gametophyte form. No, Manvita, we'll come to that. Wait for that. Okay. So who read about this one? Heterospory? Think about this easily. Okay. So can both and female cone can be on the same tree? Prajna, yeah. In the we discussed in the last class, right? That depending upon the species. If you take a pinus as an example, pinus have both male and female on the same tree. Okay, but if I give you the example of cycas, male is a completely different plant and female is the completely different plant. So it's majorly depending upon the species. Okay, so pollen grain is so haploid cell. Yes, pollen grains are haploid. That's what we discuss here. Okay, so you know about the things, you know about up to the microspores. We will see about the microspore or pollen grain here. Okay, microspore or pollen grain here. Okay, so how it will be different then? Is it exactly same or different? No. Yeah, Pawan. Okay, these pollen grains are actually a spore structures. That means these are also haploid in nature. Produced by which process? Produced by meiosis. We learnt in last only, right? produced by meiosis process. Yes, meiosis process is a reductional division, right? Then how the structure will be, okay? Produced in the, oh, 1 second, it stopped working. Yes, 1 second. Yes, produced in large quantities, or I can say large numbers, to make sure that all the females will be get fertilized. And I'm only talking about gymnosperms. Okay, remember, I'm only talking about gymnosperms. In this, pollen grains are winged in nature. Pollen grains are winged in nature. Winged means what? They have the wing. Okay, so I'm writing the diagram here. You can observe it. Okay, regularly in angiosperms, pollen grains will be circular with some grooves, all those things. Okay, but here the structures will be somewhat like this. Okay, somewhat like this, and don't think that these are visible. These are, yeah, yes, these are actually can't be visible to the naked eyes because these are very small. We know that pollen name only it says, right, powder, right, exactly same kind, but still they have the wings. Okay, wings for what? So for the distribution, okay, for the flying, you can say. So how it will transfer, some how pollination will happen. Okay, pollination happens through the process of air. That's what we call it as the anemophily. Okay, anemophily. Don't think that anemophily means animal. Okay, don't ever think like that. Anemometer, you know that, right? Why we use the anemometers? Anybody can answer? Ha, Pavan, micro AFSA. What is it? Can anybody answer what's the use of anemometer? Why? What happened to Parvati, Gopika, Divyamshu, and Vandan Kumar in YouTube? I'm just asking. Okay. So, ha, Prajna, there are some benefits are there. Yes, wind speed, correct, right. To find the speed of the wind or speed of the air current, we will use the anemometer. So, anemo means air. Okay, same Latin. Okay. So, transfer. So, how it's happening? Air through the air current that pollination is happening. Okay, so that's why we call it as anemophily. Okay, so how the structures will be? Remember, these are spores. Okay, these are spores. So if I write a structure of this particular spore in here, this have the two spores. Okay, two spores. It has, sorry, two cells. Okay, two cells. One we call it as a vegetative cell, another one we call it as a generative cells. Okay, so don't take tension about the types of cells. So just think about that. One is controlling the general part of their process, and another one is controlling the reproductive process. Okay, this is still a spore only. Remember, microspore only. Okay, then what happens? Okay, hi, this is a male plant, male cycas. Oh, I will write here only male cycas plant. Okay, one is not, you can stay sterile. Okay, so what happens to this? This one is called as vegetative. Vegetative means what? So 1 second, guys. It's not writing properly in here. I will take a new page for that one. So for the explanation. Okay. So what's happening here? One cell is there. Sorry, microspore is there, and it has the two cells. Sachin, do you have any doubt? Microspore, or I can call it as the pollen grain. Okay. So how it happens then? One is call it as a vegetative cell. What's the function of vegetative cell then? Vegetative function cell is production of pollen tube. Remember, this help in the pollen tube formation. Okay, so that's why we call this particular types of plants as what? How we call this particular plants? What we call for this particular plants? No, microspores are not gametes, Soumya. I'm telling you that only. These are spores, not the gametes. Correct. That's why we call it as the siphonogamous. Okay, not dikaryo. We can't call it as dikaryo, Sushma, because dikaryo means single cell contain more than one nucleus. Okay, so this is two different cells. Okay, so that's why we can't call it as a dikaryo. Okay, so nobody told you it's a gametes. Remember, I never told you pollen grain is a gamete. I'm telling you This is spore only. Remember, it's a spore, not a gamete. I mentioned in the name only, right? So microspore or spore. And another one cell. This is called as the generative cell. Generative cell. So remember, this is also applied in nature. This is also applied in nature. So if someone asks what is the ploidy of microspore or pollen grain, it's haploid only, right? Don't add it up and tell it's diploid. Okay, don't, you can't add it, right? So what is the function of generative cells? Generative cell function is to give gametophyte. Okay, give the gametophyte. Then where gametophyte will come? So that's our question now. Okay, so we will check that. Okay, so what happens in the process? This particular will be like this only. It only contains two cells. It only contains two cells. Okay, so when these particular it reach on that particular plant, then what happens? No, there is no particular name, Anvita. There is no particular name for the gametophyte in here. Okay, so what happens? Think that this particular vegetative cell is giving the pollen grain, or sorry, pollen tube. Tanmay, off your video. Yes. Okay, think that it's giving the pollen tube. Which one is giving the pollen tube? Pollen tube is given by the vegetative cell. Okay, then what about this particular cell then? This particular cell. Okay, so this will divide and form the two cells. Okay, how it will divide? Which process it will use for dividing this particular generative cell, which divide to form two nucleus? Which process it will use, mitosis or meiosis? Yes, it's mitosis only. You know why? Because it's already a haploid cells. Haploid cells can't go through the process of meiosis. You know that, right? So it has to go for the meiosis only. So by the process of mitosis, this particular structure, a single generative cell, will give rise to two generative cells. These particular structure, now that pollen grain, pollen tube produced, this particular structure, we call it as the gamete. Okay, we call it as the gamete. It's open here. Okay, so it will be open in this particular part. So I will rub this one for the releasing one. Okay, for the releasing of that one. Gametophyte. Remember, okay, we never call pollen grain as the gametes. Okay, because the gametophyte is the when that particular cell divided into two. Why? So what's the reason behind that? There is actually difference between the regular cell and this particular cell, because this will almost like sickle shaped, or like what you can say, almost like this shaped in nature. You can see, right? This one shaped, and this particular one is actually gamete. Okay, this particular one is actually gamete. Okay, so remember, the pollen grain is not a gamete. Pollen grain is a microspore. That microspore will divide in that one cell, or generative cell divide, and that will called as gametophyte, and that resultant nucleus are called as the gametes. Okay, gametes. Okay. Manita is asking time in which generative cells divide into cells. The situation is gametophyte. Yes, absolutely correct. Okay. Until this particular generative cells divide and form the gametes, you can't call it as a gametophyte. Okay. Once it will start dividing, then we call it as a gametophyte, and then we call this particular nucleus as the gametes. Okay, then we call this particular as the gametes. Remember, okay, so never say that pollen grains are gametes. Pollen grains are microspores only. Okay, those gametes are cells or nucleus. These actually are cells. Okay, but it's predominantly with the nucleus with a very thin lining of the cell. Okay, very thin lining of the cells. Okay, very thin lining of the cell. So what happens? It have a two gametes, right? But remember, in these two gametes, only one will be active. Only one will be active. What about another one will degenerate? Okay, another one will degenerate. You can ask, sir, what is the important that? You can simply say that one will be active, one will do the reproduction, right? But this particular point you are watching, right? This is very, 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 very important in this particular. Okay, so why it's important? So this is what makes the gymnosperms development is different than the angiosperm development. Okay, actually in angiosperms both of those gametes are active, but here only one is active and another one will degenerate. Okay, just remember that. Okay, what is degenerate? Tanmay is asking. Okay, no two fusions. Ha, correct, Manvita, absolutely correct. Okay, so what is the meaning of degenerate then? Degenerate is not decaying. Okay, decaying, you know that, right? Fungi or something will attack and it will disintegrate it and all the things. But degenerative is also disintegration, but within our body without any external agents. Okay, okay, they won't die. Yeah, why it's die? It's an evolutionary process that happened. Okay, I also don't know why it's happening like that. So it do not have that energy, I think. Okay, so how degenerative will be different in degenerative process? What happens? Those particular nucleus will divide it into small pieces. When it goes to small pieces, it will become either it's a kind of amino acid or kind of carbohydrate or kind of nucleotide, phosphates or any other minerals. Okay, the body will be reutilize all those things. Okay, reutilize all those things. That is degenerative. Okay, microspore and gametophytes are nearly similar. No, sir. Yeah, these are nearly similar, but those are not safe. Remember, okay, microspores are just pollen grains, but gametophyte, which is originated from that microspore, okay, make a copy of itself. So it make it's a general process which happens in there, okay, but it will not continue, but it will take an importance in the angiosperms. Until that it do not have any. Ha, right. If it actually going for the degenerative process, then why it should get multiplied? That's the first question. So it's like a trying for the another one step or trying for formation of endosperm. You will learn that in the angiosperms. Actually, endosperm is a nutritive tissue. From here, it's starting. Okay, from here, it's starting to create the tissue, but it's failing to create it because the another nucleus is degenerating. Okay, so later steps, later in the evolution, the plants find a way to conserve that another nucleus and form the endosperm. That happens in the angiosperms. Okay, it's evolution. I can't say that one. Okay, it will become comedy if I say like that. Okay, yes, sir, it's gametophyte means plant gives a nucleus. It's just a cell. So it's a process in the evolution. Okay, it's a process in evolution. When it succeeded to make the endosperm, then it converted into angiosperms. Wherever it doesn't succeeded, it will remain it as a gymnosperm. Okay, that's how. And yes, guys, you guys can observe how the gametophytic phase is reduced here, right? So when you compare to the algae, most of the life cycle is gametophyte only. When come to the bryophyte, major thing, big will be gametophyte. When come to the pteridophyte, okay, it's small, but it's visible to eyes. Okay, but when compared to here, gymnosperms is clearly not visible, right? Gametophyte is so reduced. You can imagine, right? Pollen grains germinate and give gametophytes, same as saprospores germinate and produce the gametophytes. Yeah, correct, Manvita. Right, both are same. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so just imagine how small gametophytes will be. So I think you guys understood this one. Shall we move on to the next one? So click on yes or no. So I will come to know that. Click on yes or no. Yeah, if you have any doubt, just put it in the chat box. Okay, if you have any doubt. So we will come to the female gametophyte. When you know about the male gametophyte, it will be super easy to understand this one. Okay, super easy. So how it happens then? Okay, here we call it as egg only, and which is present in Archegonia. Okay, Archegonia, which contain the egg. Okay, which contain the egg. There are actually degenerate. Explain one more time, Dhanush. Degenerative means a disintegration. I will write down somewhere so you guys can remember it very easily. Okay, I will write in the last slide only. Gametophyte means a three-celled pollen tube formation or three-celled pollen grain, which contain the gametes is a gametophyte. Akshay. Okay. So I will write here only meaning of degenerative, disintegration disintegration within body, yes, disintegration within body by body itself, you can think. Okay, it's not actually a what you can say 100% this one the definition. Okay, this definition to understand the things. Okay, so degeneration means disintegration of the materials or the cells within the body by body itself by the enzyme action. Okay, so and Akshay, as for the answer, the gamete containing pollen grain structure or three-cell structure, three-celled gametophytic stage or three-celled pollen grain stage is called gametophyte. Okay, so we'll go back to here one, female only. Okay, so Archegonia, which contain the egg. Okay, you know about that. Don't compare this egg with the angiospermic egg. This will be different. Okay. Sir, female gametophyte is more differentiated than the males. No, sir. Sir, which is third part in cycas plant. I will tell you guys. Stay just 1 second. I will tell you. Okay. So here you can see the ovules are like this, and within the ovules you can find a structure. That's what we call it as embryo sac. Okay, this much is not important for you guys. Okay, embryo sac, not, instead of that we can use the term egg and Archegonia only. This contains this particular structure. Archegonia structure contain the egg, and you call it as the female gametophyte. Okay, you call it as the female gametophyte. Use the different terms. So using the different terms is better, I think. 1 second, guys, it's not working. Yes. Embryo sac which contain female gametophyte. This one, this embryo sac will contain the egg, or you can simply call it as the gamete. Okay, you can call it as the gamete. So how it happens then? Gamete. Okay, this contain actually two nucleus, majorly two nucleus. How it will be then? So I will write down something like this. Okay, and here it will be one egg will be there. Okay, and here it will be endosperm will be there. Okay, can you guys tell me the ploidy of endosperm and ploidy of the egg? Can you guys tell me ploidy of endosperm and ploidy of egg? I will tell you, Tejas. Just the seed part in cycas. Yes, correct, right. Both are N because both of them are produced from the process of the meiosis, right? So this is the female gametophyte. One contain the egg and another one contain the egg, endosperm, but both of them are haploid in nature. Okay, so this will covered with the kind of structures. That's what we call it as the nucellus. Okay, nucellus. We call it as the nucellus. So what's the function of nucellus here? Nucellus actually having nutritive function. Okay, nutritive in function. So remember here. Okay, what's the meaning of ploidy, Tejashri? Okay, ploidy means chromosome number. Okay, ploidy means chromosome. Pawan, did you ask any question? You raised the hand. Can you call egg as oosphere Harmonvita? You can. We told you in there only, right? You can call it as a oosphere, not oospore. Okay, oosphere. Remember. Okay. So what is it? Which one it is? Is nucellus is like placenta? No, Chayant. Actually, nucellus is the outer covering only. Okay, placenta, we will call it as placenta only in plants also. Okay, in plants also we call the placenta as placenta only. Okay, what are those ovules? Ovules means this only, right? Sporangias, Megasparangia. We discussed in last this slide only, right? So remember, half one, correct. This one is section. Okay. Anybody have any doubts? So Tejas, accurately, right? We told you from there, all of them. Archegonia means only having the jacket, right? Archegonia means only having a jacket, right? But it's not a fruit. Wait for some time, guys. Which one, Deepti, you have to tell? Yes. I have to glance. Why? Once I complete the things, right? When I'm not completing the things, how I have to glance, right? I'm telling you, Chirag, 1 second, okay? Yeah. So we will see that there are like nucellus will be present and we call it as integuments. What is the meaning of integument? Integument means covering, okay? Integument means covering, okay? So this particular one, Pawan, really, it's not a egg, okay? So we will see. So this particular is a egg here. This is the embryo sac, and it also contains the endosperm, right? So this particular outer will be nucellus, and it's a nutritive in function, and endosperms are non-nutritive in function. Endosperms non-nutritive, nucellus will be nutritive. Then what will be the ploidy of this particular nucellus? Nucellus is present outside the embryo sac. Remember, embryo sac is a gametophyte, and nucellus will be present outside of the embryo sac. Then what do you guys think? What will be the ploidy of the nucellus? What's your opinion? Ploidy of the nucellus. Can anybody answer? Correct. It will be having 2n as the ploidy because 2n, not n, because it's a part of the sporophyte or part of the parent plant, right? So it's just the part of this particular one. So we will go to the next one then. So what happens this? So here you can observe the different structures here. We already saw this one, the ovules, right? So ovules we already saw, and the elongated and sectional view of this ovule. Beer, female sex organ. Okay, Manvita. 1 second. No, it's not a fruit. It's not a fruit, bro. Okay. So here you can see this particular structure. This particular complete structure is the cone. Okay. And here you can see the sporophylls, and here is the ovule. If I take a section of this particular ovule, you can check like this one. Okay. You can check like this one. So what is these things? It is present in here. Okay. You can compare the exactly same thing with here. Okay. What you can see here, right along in here, this is exactly this one only. Okay, this one only. So you can compare this one, archegonial chamber with the nucellus outside, okay, and also containing the archegonium, right? You can find the all those things in there only. Okay. Yes, I will make sure that about. Okay, yeah. So when we come, we will come back to here once again. Okay, if you guys get confused or something, so there is like ovule will be present, right? So I will rub this one. Okay, it's a little confusing, so no issue. So we starting from here, ovule will present. It contain. You can see here there are chambers are there and layers are there, which inside to this it contain the Archegonia structure. Okay, Archegonia structure, which is present in here, and with the nucellus on all the things, this particular Archegonia structure, and so or you can say it like this also, a female gametophyte only contain the Archegonia. You can use that term also. Okay, no issue in that. But remember, wherever you are using the gametophyte or the Archegonia, remember you are using the terms for the cells which are only haploid, not diploid. Okay, only haploid will be the gametophyte. All the diploid cells which is present beside to that will be still a part of the sporophyte only. Okay. Yeah, we can think like that. By considering things, we can say like that also. The gametophyte will bear the archegonia. We can say like that. Okay, because this complete outside structure we call it as archegonial chamber or archegonial site. Okay, because of that, all this complete call it as a gametophyte, and using that term they will call it as the gametophyte only bearing the archegonia. Okay, because archegonia will be smaller and it is present inside in that. Okay, it is given like megaspore germinates and give rise to gametophyte, which bears archegonia, and these structures are inside the ovule. Correct, Manvita. That's what I'm telling you, right? So this complete archegonial site or archegonial chamber, you can consider it as a gametophyte. Okay, so that complete structure. So that's why you can use the term the female gametophyte will give the archegonia. Okay, so use those terms only. which are using the books, we can't what you can say misspelled it. Okay, we have to use the same terms, because in NEET they will ask as it is given in the textbooks, right? So we will use that term only. Okay, no issue, we'll use that term only. So female gametophytes will bear the Archegonia structures, you can use that. But remember, it contains the nucleus, which is the parent tissue contain the diploid. Okay, sir, in here, which is the sporophyte, the complete plant is a sporophyte. Okay, the complete plant is a sporophyte, and the megaspore is the sporophyte. Later is megaspore only converting into giving the it into that particular gamete, right? The Archegonia or female gametophyte is given by the megaspore only. So later stages, on the starting stage, megaspore is there, right? That one is the sporophyte structure. Okay. Sporocyte is that one only. Sporocyte you asked, right? Sporocyte is the megaspore only. Okay, megaspore mother cell. Megaspore mother cell is the sporocyte. Later it will give rise to megaspore. That megaspore will give rise to the gametophyte, and which give rise to the that particular kind of the gamete. Okay, Pawan, you have any doubt? So we can write it here one more time. I will take another one slide. No issue in that. Megasporocyte. This will give rise to megaspore. Remember, this megaspore only convert into gametophyte, or you can simply call it as female gametophyte. This gametophyte will give rise to gamete. Okay, so the structure is, you can call it as Archegonia. Okay, Archegonia, or you can call this gamete as the egg. Okay, why will male gametes also have sex organs? What's the meaning of sex organ? I didn't understand, Manvita. Sir, like female gametophytes bear the Archegonia. Like female gametophytes bear the Archegonia. They also actually male gametophytes bear the male gametes, right? But they do not have the antherozoids. Okay, so they directly give the male gametes. Okay, so here the structure is present, not in there. Okay, so why it's confusing here? Because their spores are traveling, right? Their spores actually traveling from one plant to one plant, so we can see the transition. But in the female, what's happening? All these things happening within that particular female cells only, within that particular female ovule only, right? So in the initial days, what happens? If I say this one is the ovule, okay, this one is the ovule, and this will contain the megaspore. Okay, megaspore, right? This one is the megaspore. But in the later of the what you can say, in the later years, what happens after the near term? This one will be ovule only, but inside it will contain the female gametophyte. Okay, same, there is no different site, exactly same site. Okay, so if you go for some, if you forward it little bit, the ovule will be same only, but inside after the fertilization, what happens? It will contain the zygote. So you can see a single place, the position is differentiating. Okay, position is differentiating. How megaspores get converted into gametophytes? Simple. How do you think? The megaspores will divide mitotically, and they will produce the haploid kinds of spores. Those will give rise to the gametophytes. Okay, but those are not included in your syllabus, because you will learn about the development of sporocyte to the gametes in the angiosperms. Okay, that's lengthy. So that's why when you see that particular one, you will understand here also, even though methods are a little bit different. So they didn't mention that in the gymnosperms, only mentioned in the angiosperms. Okay, ovules are fixed, inside it all work is going on. Exactly correct, Manvita. Okay, remember, in the female system, the position never changes. Within that only everything will happen. But in the male, what happens? The pollen grains will transfer from the cones to the female site. In that process, or during the process, the conversion or changes will happen. Okay, any more doubt, guys? If you have any doubts, just put it in the chat box. We will complete and we will go back to the next one. Okay, otherwise, if you don't have any doubt, click on yes, so we can move on. Any more questions, or any questions I didn't answer, or you didn't get satisfied? So seed part. Seed part we will come later. We never went to the fertilization, right? That's why I didn't explain about seeds. Okay. In this seed part, we will, after the fertilization, we will see that one. So one question came, we will solve the question and we will go to the next one because it's a long time, right? The question is simple. Archegoniate plants belongs to. Archegonate plants belongs to option A, Bryophyte, Pteridophyte, Gymnosperm, Angiosperms. Talophyte, Bryophyte, Pteridophyte. Option C, Bryophyte, Pteridophyte, Angiosperms. Option 4, Bryophyte, Pteridophyte, Gymnosperms. I'm launching the poll now. You can answer in the poll. Okay, and who are in the YouTube can answer in the YouTube live chat. I'm just watching you guys also. Okay, so we'll see who will answer first and who will answer correctly and how much are you listening. Okay, Suhas, what happened to you, bro? Yes, Parvati, just try to think one more time. Yes, how many seconds left? We are left with 20 seconds. No ovule. It's not ovule, Sachin. The structures which is present in the ovule. Megasporocyte we explained there only, right? Megasporocyte means the structure which after meiosis give rise to megaspores. It's not a ovule. It's a cell which is present inside that particular ovule structure. Okay. Hi, Hemant. The time is over. I'm ending the poll. Yes, so many guys giving the correct answer and so many gave the wrong answer also. I'm sharing the result. 19% chosen option A, 3% B, 13% C, and 64% D. Yes, most of you are correct. So we will think about it. Archegoniate plants, I told you, right? Only 3 things will have the archegonia. So what are those things? When we compare to the lower side, thallophytes or algae do not contain the archegonia, right? So you can remove the second point, right? So you left with the 3 options, Bryophyte, Pteridophytes, but these are common options, Bryophyte and Pteridophytes. So you have to think about the third option. Here both Gymnosperm and Angiosperms are there, and here only Angiosperms are there, and here only Gymnosperms are there. And we discussed, I told you, right? The archegonia is structure which is only present in Bryophyte, Pteridophyte, and Gymnosperms, because in Angiosperms we have different structures called carpel, which contains the stigma and all the other ovary, all the structures, right? So archegonia, which is present in only 3 things, those are Bryophyte, Pteridophyte, and the Gymnosperms. So the correct answer is option 4 or option D. Okay, so that's why you have to listen to the class carefully, then you can solve it properly. Okay, so we will go to the next slide. It's a life cycle. So here we will discuss about certain other things. Okay, I'm not writing here. We will see what happens. So from where we should start? That's the first question. We will start with a tree. Okay, we took the pinus tree, and yes, I'm taking a pinus tree, and pinus tree contain the it contain both male and female in a single one, right? You know about that, right? Female contain both, sorry, it contain both male and female system in a single plant only, right? So we will go to the here. What happens? There is in the upper portion it contains the a seed cone, and in lower portion it contains the another pollen grain cone. So what's the reason behind that then? Okay, it could have produced a female in the lower side. Females are in the upper side and the males are in the lower side. So it could have switched it, right? If its male is in the upper portion, then pollen grains will be easily delivered to the female and it will be easily fertilized. It's an easy process. Why it not choose that? Why it chosen like this? Because if that happens, it almost like a sexual reproduction. There is no variation, right? There is no variation. There is no interaction. That's why they kept the female in the upper portion and they kept the male in the lower portion. Okay, this contains the cones or female cone or Megastrobili, and it have the Megasporophyll, which contains the ovule. Okay, so this particular structure, ovule, here there I took the example of this one. Cycles, don't get confused. Okay, why there it is like this, why here it is like this, Because there I took the example of cycas, here I took the example of the pinus. So the structures will be little different. Okay, only little different. Okay, yeah. So here you can see the integuments are there, and it contains the Megasporangium, and later in Megasporophyte, converting all the structures having the Megasporangium containing the Megasporophyte. Sorry, okay, I get like discontinued. If you compare to here, what is happening here then? It contains the male cones which have the Microsporophyll. That Microsporophyll contain a Microsporangia that is producing the microsporocyte. Okay. Nicholas, it will come. Okay, don't no issue. Okay. So then what is happening here? They are comparing all this in a single cell. Okay, they are giving all this as a single cell. Okay. So later the meiosis process is happening. Okay, meiosis process happening here. Look, this is a microsporocyte, and this one is a megasporocyte. Megasporocyte. Okay, after the meiosis, what happens? This microsporocyte will give microspores or pollen grains. I will write it like PG, and megasporocyte will give rise to a different kinds of cell, or you can call it as the megaspores, right? Megaspores. So here you can observe the megaspores with the integuments. Okay, with the integuments as the outside. Okay. So then what happens? These pollen grains will travel from here to here through the air current or through the anemophily, and it will reach here, and they will start to produce the pollen tube, and it will reach up to this one. Okay, it will reach up to this one. Okay, so and when it fertilized, and why it happened? Sorry, fertilization process is late, right? So sorry. Okay, they gave the fertilization process in the later stage. I confused here only. So pollination, this is traveling. Okay. Integument is a mechanical protection. Integument function is a mechanical protection. Okay. So later it's traveling in that way. This particular structure is converting into this Archegonia. Okay. And this is the Megametophyte. Megametophyte, you can simply call it as female gametophyte. Both are okay. Okay. It contains the Archegonia. And later what is happening is this gametophyte, okay, it's combined with a fertilization will happening, and fertilization is giving rise to the zygote. Okay, fertilization is giving rise to the zygote. One second, guys. Happening and giving rise to the zygote, which will be in the diploid condition. Later it will form a kind of embryo. Okay, later it will form an embryo with the seed coat. Okay, so where the seed coat came, then these integuments will forming this particular seed coat. Okay, seed coat will be formed from the integument. So I'm coming back once again. Okay, the plant is here, and this plant is giving microspores. Male strobili and female strobili. The female strobili is contain Megasporophyll and contain the megaspore, which is giving rise to a Megasporangium. Okay, male contain Microsporangium and having the microsporocyte. After the meiosis, it will giving rise to a particular megaspore, and the microsporocyte giving rise to the microspore. And later what's happening? This microspore is traveling through the air. Okay, and this megaspore converting, megaspore is converted into a gamete, you can say, what we can say, gametophyte. This particular gametophyte will giving rise to Archegonium, and when this particular pollen reach here, they will start to produce the pollen tube. When the pollen tube reach up to that particular gamete or egg, they will fuse and they will form the zygote. Those zygote will be stored or form an embryo, and that outer integument will turn as a seed coat, and they will removed from the parent plant later or after complete development. This winged these winged seeds, that means seed also have a kind of wings. Okay, this is only seed. Okay, this is the wing, you can see. Okay, this winged seeds will travel further to the tree, and when it's germinated will give rise to a new plant or new sporocyte. Okay, so this is the simple process. So there are some questions. It's a dicot? No, it's not a dicot. Okay, it's not a dicot. Dicot and monocot only comes under the angiosperms. Here there is no differentiation of the cotyledonate. Okay, here there is no differentiation of the cotyledonate. Here only embryos will be embryos are present with the particular storage. Okay, so then what happens? Then what happens after the fertilization? The embryo is turned into, embryo is 2n in the condition. And what about the endosperm? Endosperm will remain as haploid condition after fertilization. I'm writing it. Okay, after fertilization, what is happening? The embryo is turned into, or zygote converted into 2n, but endosperm remained as the n only. Okay, then isn't seeds are only monocotyledons? No, there is no cotyledon actually. So there is no cotyledon. That's what I'm telling you. So cotyledons are only present in angiosperms. Gymnosperms have embryo only. Okay. Sir, how archegonium are produced? Archegonium are that means how means the conversion of changed cells give rise to a sac or the sterile cells. Within the sterile cells, that particular egg will be developed. Same as you seen in the bryophyte. Okay, so that's a complete complex kind of the process. That's why it's not there. Okay, sporophyte is dominant here. Absolutely. Okay, sporophyte is absolutely dominant here. Sir, n plus n should result to n, but here total 3n. There is no 3n. Who told you 3n? I never mentioned 3n. You check here, right? Always a 2n only. It's 2n only, right, Manvita? So it's never a 3n in the gymnosperms. It's only 2n. Okay. Remember, embryo will be diploid and endosperm will be haploid. So this is the life cycle of gymnosperms. And this one, who Prajna probably asked a question, sir, is there any advantage of having both male and female in a single plant? Yes, it have an advantage. The advantage is the chance of fertilization will be higher. Okay, but if you take a cycast, normally if you grow hundreds of the cycasts, but all of them are female or all of them are male, then none of them will produce any seeds, right? Because it need male or female or another plant for the fertilization. So that's the disadvantage in the cycast, but that's corrected in the pinus. Okay, yes, fertilization chances very high. Correct. TNS, what is TNS? I didn't understand. I didn't understand it. Can you like expand it, or where you find it? Can you tell me what's where you find the TNS? Okay. So any more doubts about the life cycle in gymnosperms, guys? Any more doubts? So we will go to the next one. That's the economic importance. So what are the economic importance of the gymnosperms then? So major is the some of those seeds are edible. We can go for the pinus. Okay, so we can go for the example of pinus. 2n plus n embryo plus endosperm, this total. Manvita, we never consider that. I told you, right? You have to consider ploidy or the chromosome number on single nucleus. You can't consider complete this one seed ploidy, because seed contains hundreds of the, what you can say, cells. Okay, you always have to collect the or the count the ploidy with related to a single nucleus. Okay, embryo is a separate, endosperm is a separate. Hi, no Lochan, 1 second. Okay, sir, pollen is motile. No, pollen do not motile. No motility. Here only have pollen tube formation. Okay, so it's I will write down it also. Okay, edible seeds are pinus, and some of them used as a timber because it contains soft wood. Okay, that means wood will be soft. And we also extract some resin which used in turpentine and rosin, which is actually water repellent materials. Okay, water repellent materials. These are probably you already seen turpentine, because we used it for the paint or mixing the paint. Okay, and we also use the drugs. A drug called ephedrine is extracted from this and used in paper industry for the paper, and some of them having the horticulture important, like ginkgo, here you can see, and tuja. Probably most of you school also have this plant. Okay, tuja and ginkgo also have the horticulture importance. Okay, Tejas is asking pollen is motile. So for that, I am writing the question once again. Pollen or non-motile, pollen or non-motile, and that's why these are also completely independent of water. Completely independent of water. Independent of water. I am writing it once again tomorrow with a proper. Okay, completely independent of the water. That's the importance. This so they can survive in anywhere. Okay, so I launched the NPS pool, and your homework is you complete the NPS pool and one go out of the class. But remember, the homework is you have to read it to understand the angiosperm. Okay, and second thing, this week you guys have the test. This week you guys have the test. So test will be on the B2 chapter 2. Okay, B2 chapter test you have. YouTube fellows, we will inquire how we can conduct the chapter test. For who are present in the Zoom, there is no issue in that. Okay. Any more questions, guys, regarding today's class? If I left out any questions or you asked it, I didn't saw it. Okay. So you can check with that. In YouTube also, do you guys have any doubt? If you have any doubts, just put it in the chat. I will answer. How the multiple seeds are formed? If there multiple ovules are present. So when there is multiple ovules are present, multiple seeds are formed. Integument means cover, Shalini. Okay. Integument means cover. So there also integument means cover. Okay. Sir, ginkgo biloba is a foil. No, it's actually what you can say. It's present from the millions of years, but still in the same way, living fossil. Okay, ginkgo biloba is a living fossil. Yes. Any more things? Actually, I thought of completing the other things, but you guys also interested and you wanted to go in detail, so I also went in detail. Okay. Sir, I'm lateral entry. So Prajna, you can do one thing. So what you do is you are already in the WhatsApp group, right? So in that we have all the videos of the previous classes. You can check with that. And another one thing, read the textbook and attend the exam. That's also fine. Okay, attending is important, right? Other things are not that much. Sir, please can you teach me how you don't starting because of network problem? Okay, Dipti, I will go back once again. How the economically important? All of them give economically important means with related to money. Okay. Sir, is cycas a living fossil? We won't consider not all cycas species, but ginkgo is a living fossil. Okay. Is Christmas tree a gymnosperm? Absolutely. Yes. It belongs to conifers. Okay. All conifers are gymnosperms. Thank you. Yes. Any doubts from the YouTube? I'm not getting any doubts. Okay. So I'm coming from the starting because someone is not attended. These are the structures of, once again, structures of different kinds of. Now you can differentiate this one, right? Now you can differentiate. So male and female. So second, we learned about, correct, how the male and female systems works. Male is having structures called male strobili, which having the Microsporophyll, and that every leaf, that's why we call it as Microsporophyll, that leaf have the spore containing structure, we call it as a Sporangia, and that one particularly contain the microspores. Same goes with the female also. Female strobili, female this one, Megasporophyll contain Megasparangia, or ovule contain the megaspore. Okay. What is anemophily? Anemophily means transfer of pollen grains through the process of air. Okay. Air. Anemo means air and phily means transfer. Anemophily means transfer of pollen through air. Okay. Microsporocyte means cells which undergo and produce the microspores. Mega means the same thing which produce the megaspores. Okay. And later we discussed about the, once again, I will do like this. This one is better in explaining these things, right? So yes, this one is the better thing. Yes. So later we discussed about the female systems and the male systems separately. In the female system, how it happens, sorry, male system, it have the pollen which are haploid and which also winged, and it have the two cells, and and we call it as the microspores. When it germinated, then only you can call it as the gametophyte, because there only the gametes are present. But when you come to the male system, it contains the Megasporangia, which gives rise to megaspore. Later, that gives rise to gametophyte. That gametophyte will bear the Archegonia, and that only contain endosperm and egg cells, right? So this is the process how it happens. Later, we discussed about the fertilization process. I think that much only we covered it today. Okay, I'm leaving the economic important, and remember, guys, only few are present, so make your own notes. That's very important. Highly confusing in textbooks. So thank you, Manvita. Yeah, that happens when you are discussing about Megasporophyll, same words, right? Megaspore, microspores, all the words. Then it's different. Okay, guys, YouTube, you guys don't have any doubts. I'm closing the class. If you still have any doubts, please put that in the Telegram group so we can answer in there. Okay.